All right, people, welcome to a new video. Today it would be a bit of a different one because we will talk about the human resources. We will talk about how to build a scalable team without being a people's person, without babysitting anyone. If you are anything like me, managing people exhausts you. Across my childhood, high school, I didn't go to college, but teamwork and group projects used to exhaust, and I thought they are the worst because I always had the mindset that I operate better and more efficient and smarter if I work alone. However, in business, that was sort of a slap on the face because you cannot build something big alone. One hand cannot clap, and you need to have reliable A players in your back leading the vision and growing the business with you. Otherwise, it cannot happen. However, the reality is whatever you do right now, it's not because you hate people, but it's because you didn't start a business to babysit adults, repeat yourself 10 times, or solve problems they should have solved on their own. Now, reality is most founders get stuck at 50 to 100K per month because they are at the center of everything. They are enslaved to the machine they built with their own hands. And the second they stop working, the business slows down. The revenue stops coming in. Let me show you how I built Luxbridge Consultancy, how I architect teams to gain back my freedom so I can focus on high-level decision-making, sales systems, new markets, new products, etc., etc. And I have done this across my company in consulting, in real estate, in e-commerce, etc., etc. Now, what I want you to see here is a conversation between me and my operations manager. So where I ask about if there is anything pending on me overall, she says no, my services are not needed as of now. And I love to call this operation users because the reality is when I send this message, I felt guilty to a certain extent because it's been since Feb. Now it's the 30th of June. Since Feb, I didn't join any daily meeting. I've been working barely 20 hours per week. And I just felt that things are going out of my control. But reality is, it's just, I would say, unneeded or unnecessary anxiety. Because it's sometimes when you grow as a founder, you grow with, especially it's your company, you build it from scratch, you go with a need for control somehow that grows with you. And it's not healthy. You need to detach yourself from that. Now, before we jump into how to actually achieve all of this and achieve your freedom in your business, we need to understand the operating system of a scalable team. A scalable team doesn't mean more people. It means clear roles with asymmetric leverage, systems that prevent repeated questions, KPIs that tie to performance-based compensation, and built-in self-correction mechanisms. So let's break down every one of them or each part of them into different principles, shall we? First principle, role design equals asymmetry. Every role in my team must generate output that's disproportionate to the cost of the seat. Naval Ravikant talks about this a lot in his books. He said that for a company to scale to millions and millions of dollars in yearly revenue, they need to build 4 types of leverage. The first type of leverage is labor. And through this principle, this is how you maximize your leverage out of labor. Because, for example, if an editor that you hire for $1,000, one way to build leverage out of that is to build them a system that is streamlined where they can follow to turn one piece of or one script, one video into a piece of content. That's disproportionality. One piece of content into 8 pieces of videos or 8 pieces of content. Another example is you spend $3,000 in ad spend, you generate lead, but you have a sales system or a closing mechanism that's so strong that your sales team is able to close 50K out of that. That's what this proportionality looks like. And a VA that sends, for example, 50 DMs per day, but you build them such a strong DM structure, DM script, that they get more than 100% reply rate. So this is what this proportionality in output means. And if the work someone does could be done by AI, cheaper tool, automation, then they are out of scope. Recently, we introduced a new rule in the company. We will not hire any human employee for any role unless AI, automation, or systems are proven to not perform that job as efficient as a human. So this allows us to also maximize the systematic approach that we want to implement across all the departments. We have a completely streamlined AI system for sales. We don't need to hire any outbound reps. We don't need to hire any appointment setters. Everything is done by AI. It's just that we have one or two closers that are just doing calls with people that are ready to buy now. So principle number 2, SOPs are not documents. They are interfaces. Most founders treat SOPs as these Google Docs that contain text that no one reads. Ours are extremely different. We use Notion plus Loom videos to build SOPs. We use Figma as well. That feels like apps, clean interfaces, linked checklists, embedded videos, visual demos, etc., etc. Here are some examples. This is, for example, the Notion dashboard for account managers with all of their SOPs and onboarding process and everything that exists within the role in written format. Within this, it's also integrated with like this Figma dashboards with diagrams, etc., to help them visualize the workflow. Within the workflow, for each task, we have recorded video trainings, how to do the job that step by step in real time. So we apply this across different departments, different roles, from sales rep to business coordinators, etc., etc., customer success, as you see here, etc., etc., etc. Now, this allows us to predictably onboard people and allow them resources where they actually get onboarded properly. Every role has 3 formats for their onboarding: written format, diagrams to understand the workflow, and video trainings to understand each part of the workflow in real life. So this allows us to, first of all, hire better people. And I always, whenever we hire people, especially in management positions, I always tell them, look, you get onboarded, you go through 10 days of your onboarding process. I will pay you for that time. You're not providing me any value, but I will still pay you. However, I want you to have only 30 days of stupid mistakes. Stupid mistakes are mistakes that could have been easily avoided by you just looking back at your SOP or your training process. But you didn't. You are allowed 30 days to do those mistakes. Anything more than that, you're not a good fit, because you're not fitting in within the system we have built. So each role has an SOP stack. It's the first place people go to before asking questions. This alone reduces my personal involvement by 70%. And we keep updating these SOPs. Every SOP that we build has an owner. For example, if it's an SOP for the content department, the content manager is the owner of that. It's his responsibility to update it the more we grow, or the more we introduce new systems and new softwares, etc., etc. So we keep updating them on maybe a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, depending on the frequency of the work done there. Principle 3, hiring is a funnel. It's not a favor. For example, in our company, we do not hire out of desperation. We run a funnel just like we do with our own lead generation campaigns. It's extremely important. We don't hire people randomly online. We hire them through a funnel. We build landing pages, we run ads on LinkedIn and on Meta, and we drive traffic through. We filter them out, we book them into calls, and our HR and managers continue with the onboarding process. So these contain clear job descriptions with video trainings, video intro, and KPI expectations. Application form, we use that Typeform for all of our hiring forms because it's so advanced, and we can use logic to filter out people. Once people are filtered, we always try to do a paid test task to validate the person. And we do interviews with worst case scenario just to squeeze people and understand their problem solving skills. With all of this, we literally filter out 5 to 10% of all applicants. And when you do it through paid ads, trust me, you get a lot of applicants. So we do pay well, but we also filter really, really hard. These are an example of funnels, for example, for creative team. This is another example for executive, account executive, and this is another one for executive assistant. Now, as you say here, it's job description, KPI expectations on the left, video intro with what we are looking for on the right, and the type form at the bottom. So on top of all of this, we usually, as platforms for the traffic, we use usually LinkedIn and LinkedIn, Upwork, and Peta. So here for the on our website, this is more for branding purposes, but we drive a lot of traffic to our website, and a lot of people apply through this as well. We have careers page that has everything about our team. It's more branded than the sales funnels, but it has all the roles that we have currently open at the company. And if you are interested in something that we are not currently hiring for, you can still send a lengthy application and we look at it. Okay. So this is another example of a form, the type form for the senior and junior media buyer positions. And as you see here, it takes plus 7 minutes worth of questions and logic and scenarios to help us filter people out. So it's a lengthy process. It's not a random form that takes 2 minutes. So with all of this done, now you understand how to build SOPs. You understand how to, first of all, through principle 3, you understand how to get people in. You understand through principle 2 how to onboard them and retain them. And through principle 4 here, you understand how you can retain people and scale job descriptions, scale roles, and make everyone happy. Because now we will talk about end of day reports plus KPI linked bonuses. A lot of companies do especially with remote employees, they do tracking and all of these softwares to track people being actually working and doing tasks, etc. We don't do any of that. We've never done it. We will never do it. It's just so disrespectful, in my own opinion. If you do it, if it works for you, it works for you. But in my opinion, it creates a tone of distrust that it creates a weird vibe in the company. We don't do any of that. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're doing, as long as you're available, you're getting your job done, etc., etc., etc. So we replaced these check-ins or tracking tools with a well-structured end-of-day report that every team member needs to submit before 6 p.m. of every business day. And this is how it looks like. It's a Google Doc. Our operation manager sends it in. It's a scheduled message that goes on for every 90 days, and it has a form that everyone needs to submit. It has the date, the department, the role, your name, and it usually asks for 4 different questions. What did you achieve that day? What are the obstacles that hindered your progress or maybe slowed you down from achieving more? How do you think we can support you better? Do you think we should buy you a new software that could minimize your workload by 20%? Do you want us to invest in something new? How do you think we can support you as company? And key metrics, for example, what did you achieve? Whether it's call booked, video delivered, email sent, etc., etc., etc. These reports go into a central dashboard on Notion, and it's done through Make.com. And here's the key: we track everything, and we tie these KPIs to quarterly based bonuses. Every company, when it comes to bonus structure, if they even do it, especially with remote companies, but they might give out 1 extra yearly salary or 1 extra monthly salary every year at the end of the year. With us, we don't do it like that. It's very boring. It doesn't have any leverage in it. It doesn't have any creativity in it, and it just, people take it for granted as this extra thing that they think they need to take. But at the end of the day, it's still money coming out of the company's pocket. With the way we do it is we track your KPIs and we split it, your monthly salary, we split it over 4 quarters. So you get 25% of your monthly salary as a KPI or a target bonus every quarter. That's going to be paid to you anyhow. Now, reality is whether you get 100% of it or 60% of it depends on your KPIs during that quarter. Everything is tracked through the end of day reports. Everything is built up to determine that percentage through what you have achieved, how was your performance during the last quarter, and we pay you out a percentage based on that. So we track this whole thing creates a tone of ownership, because now everyone knows, whether you are big or small, whether you are a management position or execution team, you know that you're getting paid a bonus at the end of every quarter, and you control how much that is. So it creates a tone of ownership, and it creates, I would say, a sense of responsibility for everyone to work harder and be more efficient so they can acquire 100% of their bonus. Now, we manage all of this through Remote Pass. Remote Pass is a life-changing platform. Before, we used to create there was a lot of problems and shenanigans and drama between employees and the company. Salaries paid or received late, salaries not received, salaries being withheld from banks because they don't have professional legally binding contracts, etc., etc. We changed that through the remote pass. Now, every employee that works with us, especially full-time, they have a legally binding contract within the company. We do background checks. We have everything that we can provide them with, to all the tools where we can provide them with legally binding contracts, where they can open bank accounts, they can travel, they can apply for loans, whatever they want to do. It's not just a remote job, it's an actual work. And we manage their salaries on Remote Pass, their bonuses, etc. as well. So Remote Pass is a platform that is practically everywhere. They are incorporated everywhere. And the way it works with payroll especially is that we process payroll on the first of the month. We transfer funds to them 2 days prior or 1 day prior, and then on the first of the month, every employee is guaranteed to have their income or their salary deposited, because we transfer to them in UAE, so it's a local transfer. It reaches within hours, and they transfer back salaries to employees locally as well, because they have bank accounts in each employee country. And with this system, it creates more predictability. No one is facing any problems, no one is facing any delays, and no one is stressing about where is my salary. They just focus on work. And we also save on international fees. Employees save on commission fees as well, and conversion rates, etc., etc., etc. Now, before I move to my final words, these are 3 books that I think everyone should read when it comes to building teams. The first one is, it doesn't have to be crazy at work. It's this book. It's an amazing book. It's created by Jason Fried and David Hansen. They are the creators or the founders of Basecamp.com. It's a company. It's like an all-in-one company for all-in-one software for remote companies. It's like an advanced version of ClickUps, I would say, but it's really efficient. Now, this book I think it's an amazing book that talks about building culture in remote team structures. You can, without having things go chaotic or anyone go insane. There is the Culture Code as well by Daniel Coyle. It's an amazing book. And there is The Wisdom of Teams, Creating High-Performance Organizations, also an amazing book. I read all of them. They changed a lot in my mindset. I struggled a lot with building and retaining team members before, especially in my first 2 years. I struggled to build a team. I struggled to retain people. I struggled to sell my vision to people where they can stick behind my vision. But I mean, it's just a learning curve that you need to go through eventually. Now, my final words, what can you take out of this? If you go on and implement everything we discussed today, you won't need to be a therapist, a dictator, or even a babysitter. What you need to streamline your team to buy back your freedom is asymmetric roles, clean SOPs, clear performance logic, and a compensation structure that makes team members behave like mini founders. That's how you scale without sacrificing freedom, or more importantly, your sanity. Now, the business runs, the team performs, and I, and hopefully you as well, will stay out of the way, because now no one really cares what happens or what's being done. Everyone is achieving results. Everyone is getting work done based on their system that they can report back to. And you as an owner, you're not going insane. You have predictability, you have the time to focus on high level decision making, you focus on new products, sales systems, etc., etc., etc. So with that being said, I hope you found value in this video. If you did, feel free to share a comment below on your thoughts, any questions you might have, and I'll be very happy to get back to you whenever I can.